Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Sports Talk. I'm Jon Gerardi, your sports editor, alongside, as usual, the Dr. Chris Masse. We got a lot of baseball and softball playoffs and championships and semifinals that just happened, so let's kind of get right into it. Let's start with St. John Newman baseball. Winning the program's first district championship. Beat Kawaneski, and a pretty exciting finish to that one.
Yeah, I pretty much thought it was over. I'm a pessimist by nature, and so they were down 3-1 in the bottom of the eighth inning, down to their last strike 3 times. With the tying runs were on base, but looked like the sun was setting on them, and Nasir Dimmick, just a battle. He's a kind of a warrior like he was in basketball, and same thing in baseball. And he fought back, got a walk. Nas Smith hits a game-tying single. Javal Weeks-Schuler hits the walk-off single. And just like that, they make history, and they're district champions for the first time ever. And it's a pretty great story because this is a program that, really didn't have much history at all. They had a good little run from 2012 to 14, and they made the final in 2014. But from 15 to 17, they won 8 games combined, and now they're district champions. They've gotten better every year, so it's been fun to watch it unfold.
I was going to say, after the game, when you talked to Corey Burkholder, and what did that win kind of mean for him to see this program get to this height? And like you said, compared to where they were just a few years ago.
Yeah, that means everything. They want to do well at the state level as well, and they think they've got the potential to do that, but they wanted that district title desperately, and to get it the way that they did it, I think meant everything to him. I think it was, he's worked relentlessly at this, as his coaching staff has. He's got his players to buy in over his 4 seasons there. And this was kind of the culmination of everything that they've been taught, everything that they've been building. This is the kind of game Newman would have never won in the past. I think they would have let some mistakes compound, and I think it would have gotten worse for him. But he's changed the culture there. And now they believe they can win under any circumstances, and they proved it on the biggest stage, and so it means a lot.
I think sometimes that's the hardest thing to do for a coach, is to change that culture when you're down and you don't have any tradition to kind of go off of to get the players to buy into, hey, we can be a district championship caliber team. We just got to put in the work.
Absolutely, and that's what I think. Corey Burkholder and his staff can do all the strategizing they want, but the kids have to believe and they have to buy in. And,
exactly.
And you're right. It's and we've seen it in different sports with Nick Tagliaferri at Hughesville turning that program around, Tom Gravish and Jersey Shore, and it's huge once that happens. I think once somebody breaks the seal, so to speak, and now this Newman team has, I think it sets them up for future success too, because now they know they can do it because they've done it, and the younger kids see, oh wow, they can have a lot of success at this level, and I think success breeds success. So this could be a start of something really good for them.
In the quad ag field, Montoursville lost to Midwest, and you put on Twitter that people kind of thought Montoursville would kind of, I don't want to say walk over Midwest, but win that one easily. And Midwest kind of showed that they're a pretty darn good team and shouldn't be taken lightly when they came out and won that.
Yeah, I had no clue why people kept saying that to me, and it wasn't Montoursville, it wasn't the players, it wasn't the coaches. They knew what they were going against. It was just outsiders coming up to me and be like, oh, they should. I was like, Midwest is the top seed. They're 15-5, and they played in a tough HAC too. They beat Loyalsock. They swept 2 games from Hughesville. Those kids can play, and they proved it. Montoursville got some great pitching from A.J. Lorente and Maddox Delana, but Caden Woofley slammed the door on him, and that dude's he's a left-handed freshman, and the kid that closed it, Garrett Leitzel's a freshman. So Midwest is good now, and they're going to be really good in the future. So I don't think anybody's going to be sleeping on Midwest anymore. And
then in AAA, Loyalsock they won the district championship. Kind of talk about, I guess, the Lancers, what kind of their strength were in that district final to kind of get them into the state championship or state playoffs, I should say.
Yeah. They're just a tough team, and Zach Barton, their coach, has talked about it all year. I kind of wrote about the senior class earlier in the year and how tough they've been and some of the adversity they've overcome, but it's the whole team that reflects that. And I thought this victory was the personification of that, because everything came the hard way. Central Columbia is a great team. They were 19-2. They had swept 2 games from Sauk and outscored them 14-1. And Central's a team that I thought, if they got in the States, could make a run at the whole thing. But Loyal Sox started peaking late in the season. They won 5 straight games entering that final. And they got off to a 4-0 lead. And every time Central Columbia punched them in the face, they answered. They never buckled. And I think I'm writing about this in tomorrow's paper. There's 4 straight innings, the 5th through the 8th inning, where Central had the tying run or the go-ahead run at third base. And every time Loyal Sox got out of it. And I thought it was just a reflection of how tough they are. You know, they have good players. They're talented. Obviously, to go toe-to-toe with Central and beat them, they're a talented team. But I think at their core, they're tough. They've just got some good fighters on there that have won at a lot of different levels in a lot of different sports. And I think that's what ultimately got them over the top on Saturday.
Let's switch gears here into softball. We just had some semifinals and a championship on Tuesday this week. I guess we'll start with Class A. You know, I covered Montgomery against Millville in that semifinal. Montgomery won 7-0, and it took Montgomery a few innings to kind of get in their groove offensively. I mean, Faith Persing and Livy Savage from Millville both pitched really well in those first few innings and didn't let either team kind of get the bats going. But once Montgomery kind of broke through, when Taylor McRae hit a triple in the 4th inning, and then in the 5th inning they put up 6 runs. That triple kind of was what the spark they needed to get that offense kind of going. But once they got going, they were good.
Yeah, and I think it's been that way a lot this year with Montgomery, where once somebody gets that key hit, they kind of start rolling, and it kind of flows through the lineup. And I'm not surprised Taylor McRae was the one that kind of got him going, because it just seems like she has a knack for delivering big hits and big moments. And as a freshman, she hit a walk-off homer against Northeast Bradford in the district semis to get them to the state tournament. She's had a lot of big hits this year. She had a key home run and a win over Williams Valley, who's the defending state champion. So she has a knack for getting those hits. And they have a lot of different players that have come through in those spots this season. Caitlin Ramsch had 11 RBIs. She had 3 RBIs yesterday, and she's 11 would be amazing. But she's had a really good year too. So it's different players doing a lot of good things, and obviously Faith Persing in the circle has been amazing this year. But she and Chris Glenn, and they'll be the first ones to tell you it's been a collective effort, and it's a strong team all around.
Morgan Tupper, I believe it was, going on with their defense, Morgan Tupper, I think, was a great snag towards second there. And, I talked to Faith Persing after, and she said, she knows she's, a really good pitcher and can shut teams down. But she said if she's not having a good game, she has 100% confidence that her defense can back her up. And that's what they did yesterday. And whenever Millville did seem to make contact with the ball, it was either a perfect fly out right to the outfielder, or it was a shot on the infield that they easily were able to scoop up and kind of get the first base for the out. So no matter where they put the ball in the play, Montgomery's defense was on top of it and didn't. Millville never caught them kind of slacking or napping on that infield.
Yeah, I mean they're a strong defensive team, and they're experienced. They're one of the few teams in this area, probably in District 4, that still had a strong core back from 2 years ago. And even with missing last year, they still had about 6 starters back that have a lot of experience, and they've won at a lot of different levels on the way up to high school too. So I think that shows in their defense, and I think there's a trust there among the teammates. And defensively and offensively, I think there's just a lot of confidence in each other and a belief that somebody is going to get that big hit or somebody's going to make that big play. And I think that confidence and trust in each other has a lot to do with why they're sitting at 20-1 right now.
Switching to Class AAA for softball, Lewisburg fell to Central Columbia 5-2. And Loyal Sox came out with the win against Bloomsburg. I forget the score offhand. Was it 13-4?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it shouldn't be really a surprise that Loyal Sox put up that many runs and had their offense like that, because it seems every game they're capable of just putting up just a ton of runs. But when you see them doing it in district semi, do you think now a matchup with Central Columbia, do you think Central's kind of thinking like, we have to kind of be at our best to be able to limit this team?
Yeah, and they've got the perfect pitcher to do that, Mia Constantino, who's one of the state's best this year. So I think they're obviously confident in their pitching, but I think Sauk's confident in their hitting, and same thing like I said with Montgomery. Loyal Sauk has shown throughout the year that they can score runs in bunches, and so that breeds confidence, and I think it takes pressure off hitters knowing if they don't have a hit or they have an off day, all year somebody has been there to pick them up and vice versa. So, and there's really no weak spots in that lineup, and you look at the bottom of the order with Aaliyah Kennedy, Jocelyn Cruz, and Catherine Schluter. All three are hitting over 400 this year, and so there's really nowhere to hide if you're a pitcher. So Mia Constantino is great. She can carry a team, but there's never going to be a point in the championship where she can kind of take a deep breath and relax and think, I've got an easy out here. So it's going to be a great matchup. They've played twice. They split those games. They split the Hack 2 title. They both have the same record at 18-3, so they're about as identical as it can be in terms of what they've done on the field. So it's going to be a battle.
And yesterday at Elm Park, Williamsport against Hazleton in the District 2-4 Class 6A championship. Williamsport's season came to an end in that one, but they finished, I believe, 19-2 for the year. Yep. I mean, just talk about the season that Williamsport's had this year, because they didn't get to that. They didn't get the district title, and they're not going on to the state tournament, but they still put up one really, really solid season this year.
Yeah, I mean, 19-2 is nothing to sneeze at. That's really impressive, and they won the Central Penn League title. They went undefeated in league play. They won 11 straight games going into yesterday. Their two losses are to Hazleton and Loyal Sauk, and both of them are going to the state tournament. So they did a lot of great things. It was just unfortunate. Hazleton just has their number right now, and it was one of those days where it just seemed like, Chase Smith said it, and I agree with him, it just seemed like the softball gods weren't with them yesterday, where Hazleton, a couple of their key hits, missed Williamsport gloves by inches, and Williamsport was hitting some shots that Hazleton made great plays on, and it was just one of those days. But yeah, it doesn't diminish from what they achieved this year. The seniors did a good job leading them and kind of raising the bar. And I think now for all the underclassmen coming back with a really good, strong young foundation there, I think yesterday was an eye-opener. It'll give them some extra incentive going into next year.
Definitely.
And I think this is a program that's going to keep rolling, and we'll see if they can get over the top next year and win that district title.
Well, that'll kind of do it for us for the softball and baseball. By the time you see this, unfortunately, pending weather, because you never know
weather
anymore.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah, but when you see this, the district
4
finals,
softball chairman Kurt Chilson has been named the Rainmaker by some of the people that live near Moser Complex.
which is awesome.
Yeah, kudos to those kids for giving them the nickname, and it's been appropriate. So
definitely.
So yeah, the games might not have played by the time.
Yeah, so we don't know.
This?
Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. But one last note, though. Loyal Sauk's Aiden Holler for football played in the Big 33 Classic. Huge honor for that. I believe it was a sack and a fumble, and led to a touchdown.
Fumble that was returned for a touchdown. So yeah, he played great. And that's the second time in 3 years. Bam Brema from Loyal Sauk a couple years ago had a really good game in the Big 33. So yeah, that's impressive stuff.
Yeah, Lancers are making a statement on that game.
Absolutely. Yeah, at a big level.
So that'll do it for us this week on Sports Talk. I'm Jon Gerardi alongside Chris Massey, and we'll see you next week.